Hey guys, Poster, welcome back to another Pokemon Masters video, and as you can see here, on the top we do have Mewtwo now, which is pretty cool, right? Um, got Mewtwo, and yeah, so it took a while. It took me like around 2 hours or so to actually farm enough materials to get our first copy of Mewtwo, which, by the way, if you guys don't know, there's more than one copy of Mewtwo. You need to get 5 copies of Mewtwo total to get Mewtwo's skill level to max, which you would have to do through exchanging vouchers and stuff in the shop. So it's a long grind. The first one's the easiest one to get. After that, like this one's 1,000, this is 2,000, right? And then this one needs 500 of these red vouchers, reddish, I guess. And then this one is that's 1,000, which is a huge pain. And then you got a bunch of other stuff that you need to work for. You also got Elite Four notes, which you can exchange for as well, and all that other good stuff. So yeah, I thought it would be a good opportunity today to talk about some grinding methods or farming methods for this event, since it is a very farming slash grinding intensive event. You'll have to do a lot of these rounds. So let's just go over how it's best to get a lot of these vouchers at a efficient rate. So first of all, see that super hard course there? Do not do it. It's trash. The only good stuff you get from it is those gems for the first time clear. Once you beat it for the first time, you got those gems, then it's GG. It's like what, I think 300 gems or so. So after you beat it once, don't do it again. It drops absolute garbage. It doesn't drop any vouchers at all. I think it just drops like regular ultra blends, right, or whatever they're called, the ultra level cap stuff, which you could get way more by just completing a single run of any of the ultra hard training courses on solo player mode, right? And this is much harder than that. So anyways, there's a few ways folks go about farming this. If you really just want like really quick runs, I guess you could do this battle over here. It doesn't give too many drops per run. It gives, I think, the least, but it's relatively quick, and you don't have to rely on teammates at all if you just want to do that. But it also doesn't drop a lot of the other stuff, which is probably why you want to do the co-ops for the most part instead. So first of all, let's talk about normal. Normal you could do. Normal is obviously fastest one. Also has the worst drops, but they're not terrible. So if you really just want really fast runs, and you don't really want to focus on the game too much, just want to put it on auto, then just go in normal. Set up a team with honestly whatever. Some decent strikers, Olivia, Sceptile, all that stuff, and then you should be good. So the second one I want to talk about is hard. So hard is usually better than normal, just because it gives you better drops, right? Hard is what a lot of people are doing. Most people are just focusing on either very hard or hard. And for hard, you only do hard if you're just dead set on autoing for the most part. Because very hard gives you better drops, obviously. But very hard, if you auto, there is a chance that you could get screwed over, right? And also, if you get paired with bad teammates, you get screwed over too. So there's that as well. It's really hard to lose hard, which sounds kind of weird, but we'll go with that. Didn't plan that sentence ahead of time. But yeah, for hard, I've seen a lot of people trying to use Hau and Raichu, Alolan Raichu, and I tried it for a few rounds, and I guess, because they do have the electric types at first, so you can take them out, but it's just so much slower. Like, I've never lost a round using Raichu. I've never lost a round using, my regular squad either, Olivia, whatever, Sceptile, right? But it just takes much longer. It's not like way too longer, but it just takes longer. I guess if you really don't have anything else, maybe go for that. But then again, you got a lot of decent other options to go for, right? So I really wouldn't suggest using Ho. Again, I tried it myself. Wasn't really that great, I'd have to say. So probably don't go with that. Just throw out your best single target damage dealers. Olivia, Brandon. Who else? I think those are the big ones. Maybe Mewtwo if you already got Mewtwo, right? Mewtwo's not bad. Just all these single target damage dealers. They're all pretty nice. A few people you want to avoid. Don't use Alyssa. Alyssa's not that great, and also she redirects your teammates' autos to the sides first, which is really annoying. Don't use blue, and don't use Olivia. Not Olivia. Do use Olivia. Don't use Karen. Don't use Karen. Here's the problem with Karen. So Karen doesn't suck per se. I see a lot of people just saying, "Oh, Karen sucks." This event shows how how trash Karen is. Karen's not bad. Karen is not trash. Karen doesn't suck. She's actually not terrible for this event per se. It's just that people are using her. People don't know how to use Karen, right? A lot of people just start off with Karen and then go like dire hit, entertain me, and then start snarling or biting, whatever. Don't do that. Don't do that with Karen. Karen has really terrible base stats. Well, I wouldn't say terrible. Just very mediocre offensive stats in comparison to a lot of the other top tier damage dealers, right? Like Septile or Olivia, right? So don't do that. But after Houndoom Megas, this thing is an absolute monster. So this thing will obliterate everything you fight. So if you want to use Olivia, at least do this, right? Do not start with Olivia. Start with someone else. Start with either Septile or say I guess who's the other one? Olivia, right? One of those single target damage dealers. Maybe for Alligator, I guess. I don't know if Alligator's not that great. Reuniclus if you got her, and then you could put Olivia in this. Not Olivia. I keep on calling Karen Olivia for some reason. You could put Karen and Houndoom in the second slot. So, like, if for some reason on hard, remember we're still talking about hard. If for some reason on hard you can't beat Mewtwo before Mewtwo sinks, then at least at least you still got Houndoom in the back, a Mega Houndoom that after Mewtwo sinks and kills your whole team. You could throw out Houndoom, go for a dire hit, and then go sync move into Mega, and then Dark Pulse should obliterate Mewtwo pretty easily. So again, Karen is not bad for this event, but you got to use her correctly, or else she's just terrible. If you just start out with Karen and then just snarling or whatever, that's terrible. Don't do that. Okay, so this is hard. Oh, also, one more thing I do want to talk about for hard. Do not use Liepard in hard. Don't use Liepard in hard. Liepard is terrible in hard, okay? Liepard, you can't steal stats. You hit like a feather. Well, I wouldn't say a feather, but, you just hit, like, much less than what a regular Brandon or Olivia would, right? So don't do that. Don't bring Grimsley and Liepard into hard. Some other dark type dealers, the free to play options, right? You got wait, who is the other one? You got Sharon. Sharon does have a crunch, which is pretty decent, I guess, for the most part. Obviously his base stats aren't the greatest, but if you really don't got any other options, he's okay. Nanu's okay with Alolan Meowth, right, or Persian, I guess. They are decent options as well. So yeah, that's for hard. Again, if you're doing hard, you're mostly going to be autoing, right? But if you got time on your hands, and I know not a lot of folks do, you go and do very hard. So very hard is much more interesting. So very hard, you got a few options. Very hard, Grimsley and Liepard is an absolute beast in very hard. If you have Grimsley and Liepard, for some reason, if you pulled on that banner, like Grimsley and Liepard are a trash sync pair. They're a trash 5-star, but they are it's almost like they're designed specifically for this event. Or the other way around. This event is designed specifically for Grimsley and Liepard. They obliterate this event because At the beginning, at the beginning of the battle, I think turn 2 usually, Mewtwo will use a move that just buffs like the whole team's stats, like their special attack up 6, like their crit, max, evasiveness, and all that. And then as Liepard, you can use Snatch and take their stats away. You could take away their stats and then add it to yourself. So then you will be hitting like a truck, and then they won't be. Well, at least whoever you steal the stats from. Usually folks steal it from Mewtwo or Lunatone. Either one is fine. I see a lot of people doing it on Lunatone more, but I don't know. I personally would prefer it on Mewtwo, but it's not the biggest deal in the world, right? Just because Lunatone just dies so easily, like he's gonna die really, really fast. Anyway, so just remember to snatch after Mewtwo uses his move. Don't snatch before it. I see some people do that as well. That means you're not gonna get anything. So you snatch after right after he uses his move. I think you could use your own buff first, on round 1 before he uses his move, and then you can snatch it just to get some more evasiveness and stuff, right? So you snatch that, and then you just start hitting, right? Usually I see Liepard just night slashing the Lunatone. It really depends on what your team comp is. I'll come back to this part in a bit, on what Liepard should be using in their offensive moves, right? So moving on, after Mewtwo sinks again, Mewtwo will use that move again, the buffing move. So do keep in mind to snatch those stats as well, after Mewtwo sinks, if you guys don't kill Mewtwo before he sinks. And again, if you're just, quick connecting with randos, it's difficult. So sometimes you might not be able to kill Mewtwo before he sinks. So moving on to some other options. Again, Houndoom, the same rules apply here. If you want to use Houndoom, do not start with Houndoom, right? Start with someone else, and then only use Houndoom when you're almost close to sinking. Like, you could bring Houndoom in and then go for a dire hit and then go sink, right? Dire hit, or maybe entertain me and then go for a sink, and then go into Mega Houndoom and then blast. But otherwise, do not use Houndoom. Do not use Houndoom. The better offensive options here will be, again, still Olivia and Sceptile. So I'll talk about that in a bit, but we'll talk about Bryson first. So for those of you who don't know, and if you guys are wondering, why the hell are these randos bringing Bryson into this match of all people? It's a 3-star tag sync pair that no one ever uses, and why the hell are people bringing him there? So there's a few reasons. The biggest reason is Haze over here. So Haze returns race stats of all opposing sync pairs to normal, which obviously is beneficial because Mewtwo's huge buff to the whole team is absolutely devastating. After that buff, dude will be one-shotting folks left and right? So you don't want that to happen. So a lot of people would be starting with Bryson, and Bryson's not that hard to pull. I would assume a lot of people have it. So just have Bryson on your team. Have him in either in the third slot or first slot. It doesn't matter. If you put him in the first slot, then it's easier to signal to the randos that you got Bryson, right, ready to go. And if it's in the third slot and then someone else brings Bryson, you just don't have to bring Bryson out, right? So start with Bryson. After Mewtwo buffs, same with Liepard, use Haze, return all their stats to normal, and then Mewtwo won't be able to hurt you guys anymore. Well, I mean, still kind of hurts, but it's nowhere close to how much damage Mewtwo would do otherwise. And not just Mewtwo, Lunatone and Solrock too. They're pretty annoying with their damages as well. And the other one is you could use Stone Cold Endurance, and do remember, if you don't kill Mewtwo before he sinks, he will use that move again. So use Haze, bring him out for Haze a second time, right? And also, I guess, before Mewtwo sinks as well, you could bring him in so he could tank the sink so your striker doesn't die, right? And you also have Stone Cold Endurance, which endures hit, right? So that's great as well. Also sharply rated special defense, just take a hit. And also you could throw him in to endure any of the explosions that Solrock and Lunatone does if they don't die before sync. But again, you guys should be targeting Solrock and Lunatone first. So it's very unlikely that Solrock and Lunatone will still be alive after the sync, right? So again, Haze, very, very, very important. If you don't have Liepard, throw this guy in there. And also do keep in mind, if you don't have Liepard and your teammates bring Liepard, don't Haze, okay? Let them steal the stats first. Like, if you really want to hit, you can still Haze, but at least wait till the Liepard steals some stats, and then you could go Haze, okay? Just keep that in mind as well. Also, now back to the strikers. So the two big strikers, Olivia, Lycanroc, Brandon Sceptile, and again, other single targets are fine as well. You know, Mewtwo, whatever, right? I'll go into a match, and then we'll talk about it as we work out a match. So one important issue is which sync pair you are using, and which attacks are using, and which enemy you're targeting, right? So if you are starting with Olivia, then you should be attacking Lunatone, because Lunatone is weak to physical moves in comparison to Solrock. Solrock is weak to special moves. So in this setup right here, I should be hitting Lunatone, and then the Sceptile should be, after buffing, obviously, should be hitting Solrock with the Leaf Storm, right? So usually I could take out Lunatone, 2 hits, no problem. Maybe this Liepard could come in and give it a hit as well, and then Lunatone should be dead. 2 hits, not that big of a deal. So physical attackers, you see this person's bullet seeding, and yeah, again, physical attackers should go for the Solrock. No. The physical attackers go for Lunatone. Special attackers go for Solrock. After you take out Lunatone, if you're a physical attacker, just go for Mewtwo. Let the special attacker deal with Solrock, right? I'll just let Sceptile deal with Solrock, because Solrock does not take too much physical damage, and vice versa for Lunatone, right? Lunatone does not take too much special damage at all, so instead of just wasting that, you could just let your folks, beat them with their corresponding moves instead. So again, it really annoys me when folks do stuff like that, like they use, and some people, like, literally, like, I see a lot of people using Lycanroc and then just starting out by focusing down, or trying to focus down, with Stone Edge, the Solrock, and it's like, come on, you're not doing any damage there. Like, even if anyone brings Houndoom, even like a Snarl does more damage than that most of the time, right? So it's kind of annoying. Don't do that. Remember, physical Lunatone, special Solrock, right? So after that, just focus on Mewtwo. Shouldn't be too difficult. If you have a decent, competent team, Mewtwo should die most of the time before he sinks. But if he does sink, not that big of a deal. No one's Pokemon should be dead at this stage, right? Very rarely would anyone's Pokemon be dead. So, you can just come back. Again, if your Liepard is still alive on your team, let the Liepard snatch Mewtwo's stats. If not, swap in Bryson, go Haze, and then swap back out. Don't stay in Bryson. Just swap back out and then use your moves and such, right? So, anyways, that's me for this one. Just, I guess, a pretty comprehensive walkthrough of how to farm up these vouchers up fast. Again, just a super quick recap on hard, very hard. Hard, you just auto with single target strikers. If you don't have time to actually do it. If you do have time, go for very hard. Again, also use single target strikers, but the priority list is Grimsley got the first priority for Snatch, and then you got Bryson for Haze, and then afterwards, single target strikers, physicals, attack, Lunatone, specials, attack, Solrock, and again, both Solrock / Lunatone should be 2-hit KOs, as long as you're, max level, you have okayish gear. I don't even think gear matters too much in this case, but, they should be 2 hits after buffs, so that shouldn't be that big of a deal. So anyways, that's me for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Also, good luck on your farming. It's gonna take a while, but we got 2 weeks. And stay tuned for my Mewtwo showcase video after I get the dude up max. Because after you get Mewtwo, like, that's not even the hard part. The hard part isn't getting Mewtwo. The hard part is actually grinding the dude's level cap, because you have to use, like, Mewtwo exclusive level cap items, which you get from the event, and those are so hard to grind. And then after that, you still have to get, like, dupes for Mewtwo. You have to get the potential unlocks for Mewtwo and all that stuff. It's gonna be a hard grind. It's gonna take folks a while to actually complete this whole thing. So again, good luck to you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like and enjoy this video, subscribe to your channel for some more Pokemon Masters content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.